This footage was recorded at a football match in Argentina in 2017. A camera captures a man being chased through the stands. He's surrounded, beaten, and trying to escape. Someone shouts that he supports the rival team. That accusation spreads instantly. Within seconds, the crowd turns on him. There's no hesitation, no verification, just reaction. And then he's thrown over the railing, falling 4 meters onto the concrete below. He would later die from his injuries. His name is Emanuel Balbo. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happened and how a single lie became a death sentence. How are you lads? How are you getting on? So just a little bit about me. I've been living in Córdoba, Argentina for the last 4 months now. And you know, I'm getting involved, I'm trying to get to know the culture. And one of the ways I've been doing that is by going to the local football matches. I've become a season ticket holder of one of the main teams here. The team is called Talleres. They give you this card here if you come, you know, if I'm a socio, whatever the hell that means. But anyway, I've gone with my friend to these matches. They're held at one of the national stadiums here called Estadio Mario Alberto Kempes. And they're really great fun. You know, you go there, you make an asado, you make a barbecue, you drink Fernet, sing songs, and then you watch the soccer match. And anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I was at my friend's house. We were making a barbecue, and we were watching a soccer match on the television. The Clásico in the city, the derby, the main derby between Talleres and Belgrano. Okay, the two main teams here in Córdoba, the second largest city in Argentina. And here in Argentina, if you ask anyone on the street, who's your team? They all have a team. Not everyone likes soccer or football, not everyone watches it, but everyone has a team. Everyone has a side that they pick. And so anyway, I was at my friend's house. We had a barbecue while we watched this match on the television. It was in the stadium of Belgrano, so we couldn't go. The match finished in a draw. It was a pretty boring match, as they usually are. They're very cagey matches. But the very next day I had a Spanish lesson with my tutor named Luciano. And I said, come here to me, Luciano. Why is it that away fans aren't allowed at the matches? Why is it only home fans that are allowed? And he said, well, it's to do with the violence. Years ago, they were allowed, they were permitted into the stadium, away fans. But because the violence started to escalate, one fella died at a match outside a stadium. He was shot by police with a rubber bullet and he ended up dying. And so since then, it's been only home supporters at these matches. But while he was telling me about all this, he told me of a case that happened here in this city, in Córdoba, in 2017. And that was the case of Emanuel Balbo. And so after the Spanish class, I looked this case up. I wanted to know what happened. And what I found turned out to be one of the most tragic cases I had read in a long time. So Emanuel Balbo was, in 2017, a 22-year-old man. He was just a normal guy, normal Cordobés, someone from Córdoba. He spoke with a real Cordobés accent, and he was a fan of Belgrano. Not this team, the other one, the light blue colours. Okay, he was a fan of this team, and he went to the matches. And I think we have a video here showing him at a previa, or the kind of pre-drinks before one of the Belgrano matches. So I'm going to play that clip now.
¿Para entrar jugamos o no? ¿Está complicado?
¿Vos qué me decís? Fíjate. Estoy quebrado, hijo. A las 10 empecé. Apenas me levanté, a las 10.
Para, se complica venir con las muletas y medio...
No se complica nada.
Belgrano, pa.
Por Belgrano no se complica nada, hijo. Mira, fíjate.
Lo veía medio tambale ahí, ¿no?
Sí, más vale. Si empezamos a las 10 de la mañana, imagínate.
Para, cuéntenme, empezaron a las 10 de la mañana, ¿qué?
Villa. Hasta las 12 que el compañero lo dejaron salir, ¿viste? El que está con el guacho ahí, fíjate.
¿Tiene miedo de perder el equilibrio acá el amigo? Mira.
Nah, estamos como locos.
So that's Emanuel Balbo, a normal guy, normal Argentinian, just enjoying his life, having a few drinks before he goes to a soccer match. But some more details about his life. In 2012, an incident would happen involving a picada. Now, you might be saying, what is a picada? A picada is a informal and illegal drag race that they have many of them here in Argentina. They usually happen at night. I think I have a video there, so I'm just going to show you the video. And so these picadas are very dangerous, right? As you can see, spectators line up either side of the road. They're watching these cars go at extreme speeds, and it's at night. It's on main roads as well, roads that are in use by other cars. So these are extremely dangerous affairs, and that's why the police try and shut them down, obviously. So you're asking, what does Emanuel have to do with any of this? In 2012, his younger brother, Agustin, only a teenager at the time, about 14 or 15, he was killed in one of these incidents. A car ran him over, and it also killed another young teenager about the same age, 14, 15. Now, the man blamed for this was a fella by the name of Oscar Sapito Gomez. Oscar Sapito Gomez. All right? He was blamed for this killing. And so you can understand that there's a tension between Emanuel Balbo and Sapito Gomez. And so in 2017, 5 years later, this still isn't resolved in the courts. Sapito Gomez is out and he hasn't received punishment yet. It's still in the courts. It's still going through the process. So before I get into anything else, right, just understand that there's a personal grievance between these two people and that there's a bit of a backstory here that's going to shape what happens in the future.
Con aquella luna que vino del baile, su escalón de seda de cuento balcón. Con aquella luna que vino del baile, su escalón de seda de cuento balcón. Lunita de Alberdi, esconde tu cara con tu guardapolvo de fino doctor. Si una noche alegre con mi serenata se prende y apaga la luz de un balcón. Si una noche alegre con mi serenata se prende y apaga la luz de un balcón.
So, it's April 15th, 2017. It's the Clásico, Belgrano versus Talleres. And it's going to be held in the National Stadium, Mario Alberto Kempes. It's in Córdoba. And Belgrano have been designated as the home team. So as I was talking about earlier, it's only home fans that are allowed at these matches. So in this particular match, it's all Belgrano fans. No fans from Talleres, none. All Belgrano. And so Emanuel Balbo decides to go along with his friend to this match. And he enters in the popular stand, or the common stand. Willington it's called. It's behind the goal. And so the first half goes by. 0-0, not too interesting. These matches are usually draws. But at half time, Emanuel spots someone. He recognizes Oscar Sapito Gomez in the stand. Remember, the man blamed for the death of his brother years previous. And so Emanuel confronts him. He approaches him. And it's not known whether he wanted to start a fight with him, or whether he just wanted to talk to him, or maybe he just wanted acknowledgement for the death of his brother. And so the confrontation begins. In this moment, Sapito Gomez makes a strategic decision. He decides to label Emanuel as a rival fan, a fan of Talleres. And so he starts shouting, "Este Talleres es un infiltrado." And so everything at this point changes. Being labelled a rival fan in this sort of situation is like a death sentence. Everyone around hears this and they're saying, "What? What?" And so the fans around, many of them start beating Emanuel. They start hurling insults at him. But they don't know the personal grievance that he has with Sapito Gomez. All they hear is that there's a Talleres fan inside the stadium or amongst them, and they all feel it as a threat, and they decide to act with violence and insults. So this is the sequence as it happened.
instalación, cantina, estacionamiento propio, entre otras comodidades. Se viene la reapertura de la casona. El próximo jueves estará programada la reapertura de la casona de Belgrano, el restaurante del club, tras la demolición de la antigua propiedad.
There's no clear explanation here yet, just movement and escalation. Watch how quickly people react around him. You can see the attention shift toward one person. There's no space for discussion, only reaction. Notice how quickly more people get involved. Most of these individuals weren't part of the initial confrontation. They're reacting to what they think is happening, not what actually happened. And you can see here Balbo tries to leave. He's moving through a dense section, very little room. He's already under pressure from behind, being kicked and punched. A smaller group continues after him. Watch the distance close. He's not able to create this separation. There are impacts from behind as he moves. And so you can see he's being funneled down toward a boundary point. This is the key moment. He reaches the barrier at speed, with people directly behind him. From here, he goes over. Whether pushed or forced while trying to escape, it happens under pressure from the group. From the first contact to this point, it's only seconds. There's no pause in the sequence. Everything compounds. Count how many people join in without seeing the start. No one here is verifying anything. They're following the signal. Responsibility spreads across the group very quickly. At this point, he's no longer in control of his movement. The environment, crowd density, pressure, momentum takes over. And you know, I'm sorry to be showing you this now because it really is awful, all of this, it's awful. But you can see him here, he gets thrown over the railing and that's about a 4-meter drop down below onto a stairway. And there's a metal kind of divider, railing in between that he either hits his head off that or the concrete steps below. It's only about a 4-meter drop. It's really not that much, as you can see in this video here. So when he falls down 4 meters onto concrete below, he's after hit his head. He's lifeless, lying face down on the concrete steps below. Nobody does anything. Nobody does anything. In fact, the beating continues. The insults continue. And maybe the worst part, somebody robs his shoes. Can you imagine? He was unconscious, lying in a pool of blood, and somebody goes up and robs his shoes. And these images are just hard to stomach. They're hard to watch. And it feels like forever before something happens, before he's stretchered off. Eventually the police kind of surround him and they give him some space. But it feels like forever before emergency services come to his aid. And even when he's stretchered off, the insults continue. He's still being shouted at by all these fans. But they don't care, because it's one big group of them, and there's no responsibility. They're all culpable, so none of them are culpable. And so eventually he was stretchered out and he was rushed to hospital, but he wouldn't survive his injuries. He suffered a very serious head trauma when he fell onto the concrete, and he wouldn't survive. Emanuel Balbo would die 2 days later in hospital.
Sus amigos no salen del estupor.
Como todos compramos entradas diferentes, lo dividimos. Éramos un grupo de 6, comimos asado, todo muy hincha de Belgrano, somos todos muy hincha de Belgrano. Cuando fuimos lo separamos y después yo no me enteré nada. Y yo del otro lado vi todo lo que pasaba.
Pero no te diste nunca una idea de que fuera Emanuel.
Aunque pensé que era mi amigo, porque todo el mundo decía que era de taller y le robaron zapatillas que se la había comprado ese mismo día. Para ir a la cancha y pasarla bien y no sé por qué hicieron lo que hicieron.
And so this killing caused nationwide shock, not just in Córdoba. There was major media coverage across Argentina. Marches were organised by family and friends, and actually fans of all the teams in Córdoba, not just Belgrano, but Talleres and Instituto, all the teams. They organised marches for Emanuel. They wanted justice for what happened. And so the main messaging was, no fue un accidente. It wasn't an accident. In 2019, 2 years after the death of Emanuel, the trial finally took place in Córdoba. Oscar Sapito Gomez was sentenced to 15 years in prison for being the instigator of the attack that led to Balbo's death. During the proceedings, it was also established that Gomez had been estranged from the Balbo family for years. This of course stemmed from a previous incident in which Gomez had killed Emanuel's younger brother during an illegal street race several years earlier. According to the testimony presented in the trial, Gomez confronted Balbo in the stands and began shouting, "Balbo, what are you doing here? Get out of here or I'll kill you. That bastard is a Talleres supporter. Get down or I'll kill you. Throw him out. Throw him out." Moments later, according to the trial, Emanuel Balbo received a barrage of blows from individuals linked to Gomez, as well as other fanatical Belgrano supporters in the surrounding section of the stands. Several others were also convicted for their roles in the attack. Martín Dario Vergara received 12 years in prison as co-author of the crime, convicted of aggravated homicide under Argentina's sports entertainment law. Matias Ezequiel Oliva was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his involvement in the attack. Pablo Javier Robledo and Shamil Nawal Salas each received 7-year prison sentences. Meanwhile, Hugo Acevedo, who was found to have stolen Balbo's shoes after he fell, received a sentence of 2 years in prison. I think I have a video here of the parents of Emanuel Balbo speaking after the court made its ruling.
A mi hijo no me lo van a devolver, a mis 2 hijos no me lo van a devolver. Y uno se va con un vacío, ¿no? Que después esto no queda nada. No queda nada, no queda... Sí nos queda el recuerdo de Manuel y del hermano, que fueron unos excelentes hijos, que tenían muchos sueños, muchas ilusiones, y que fue a la cancha a divertirse, y que era hincha de Belgrano, y que no había derecho por más que fuera de Taller o de cualquier otro club.
Sí, yo hubiera, por mí, que tuvieran 20, 100 años, no me van a devolver a mi hijo. Para mí todo es poco.
Solo una persona absuelta dentro del juicio.
Sí, así lo vieron ellos, que él no participó. Eso es lo que ve la justicia.
And so just a few things to go over here. Number one is that he was killed by his own side. He was a Belgrano fan, attacked by Belgrano fans. Number two, the infiltrado mechanism. This simple false accusation created mob violence within seconds. Number three, this was a private dispute. The root cause was a personal grievance that Sapito Gomez and Emanuel Balbo had between each other, and it had nothing to do with football. Number four is crowd psychology. Dozens participated or enabled this attack, and the group dynamic escalated violence extremely quickly. And number five was the post-fall behaviour. Theft and continued hostility towards an unconscious victim really amplified the public outrage after this. And as I said at the start of the video, I go to this stadium, and being in those stands now, it feels like this didn't have to happen, and that it doesn't have to happen again.